From Riverside Diamond in Hudson, Massachusetts, we say a very good evening, everyone, and welcome to baseball here on RFM. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for RFM tonight, and great to have you along with us. Great to be out on the road, away from the friendly confines of historic Doyle Field, and a first-time visit to a historic site here in Hudson in a true classic baseball layout here at Riverside Diamond. As tonight, Hudson gets set to play host to Leominster on senior night in a battle of two teams that are topping Central Mass in baseball. Hudson has clinched Midwach B's title for 2022, finishing 12-4 overall in their overall record. They had just a lone loss in their league play to Groton Dunstable. Other than that, perfect through Midwach B. Meanwhile, for Leominster, they've had themselves a fantastic streak at points. If you look at the year through the just prior to April vacation week, Leominster had scored 54 runs in their first handful of games that they had played, and then things hit a little bit of a bump in and around April vacation. They come in with an 11-4 overall record due to the Blue Devils, on the back of, after a couple of losses during that April vacation week at Westboro and at home against Shrewsbury, in a game you saw right here on RFM, Leominster ripped off another 6 straight victories, working themselves to the next game they had on RFM, which was Monday, May the 9th, hosting Chelmsford, another loss, and they've traded wins and losses since. The loss to Chelmsford at home, then a follow-up game against Westboro, a 4-3 win in an exciting one there, then dropped to another one, losing the season series at Shrewsbury, a 4-2 win for the Colonials, which will give them the top spot in Midwach A and very likely make Shrewsbury the top seed in the forthcoming Central Mass Athletic Directors Tournament for large schools. Meanwhile, Leominster follows up. They're coming hot on the heels, going back-to-back nights. Not something you typically see in Midwach baseball. Closing out their Midwach A calendar with a win over Algonquin last night on Wednesday, May the 18th by a 12-0 score. In that game, Leominster posted 9 runs in inning number 1, followed up with another 3 in the third, and then 4.5 innings came and went, and the 10-run rule over now at 12 was enacted to conclude that game after 4.5 innings. In the 4.5 innings, Leominster featured 3 different pitchers. Brendan Arsenal got the start in the game, went 4 innings, allowed 5 hits, but kept the new-look Titans scoreless. Did not surrender a walk either on the back of 3 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Dominic Montoya came in for a third of an inning of relief, allowed a hit, a walk, and a strikeout in his 1/3 of innings of work, and then a 2/3 inning effort for Angel Baez, who went zeros across the board, didn't allow a hit, a run, a walk, also didn't record a strikeout in the process. So the 3 pitchers combined for the 5 innings pitched, allowing 6 hits, didn't allow a run, so it's a combined shutout, a walk, and 4 strikeouts for 3 pitchers. Why do you need to know all of that? Coming into tonight, you may see something very similar this evening for Leominster's starting lineup, baseball-wise, as well as far as their pitching core goes. Coach Rich Barnaby tells me he intends to use a frequent number of pitchers throughout the rest of this week and on into next, into the early part of the Athletic Directors Tournament, so that he can have everybody available. He's going to try to manage the pitch counts for everybody on the staff to put them in a situation so that everybody is available going into next week's Central Mass Athletic Directors Tournament. Leominster looks right now to be about a 2 seed in that tournament, with an opening game slated for the early part of next week. We know that the Central Mass Athletic Directors Final is coming up on the 31st of May in all sports. So that's all to come as well. We also mentioned it's senior night here at Hudson. We'll have those festivities for you as we get closer to first pitch. Welcome in my broadcast partners, Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. And Billy, I'll turn to you first. It's a Leominster team that has had some really great things to talk about, and yet they've had some games where they've just failed to produce offensively. Sadly, those have been a couple of the games we've had here on RFM, I suppose, if you were to look at it that way. They have struggled offensively in the couple of games that we've had the opportunity to call, but all in all, if you look at everything on the whole, this is a team that's having a great season once again, building on the back of strong seasons over the last couple of years, and they are poised for a deep playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about time to stop managing the pitching staff, but it's really time for the offense to stop performing too, I think, and with some consistency. They're only 2-2 in the last 4 games. The offense has been hit or miss. We saw them get shut out. They scored 4 in a win against Westboro, but once again dropped another close one to Shrewsbury and scored 2. But a big explosion last night with 12, 9 in the first. But one thing I noticed in the box score, Todd, the top 6 hitters in the lineup all had at least 2 hits, all had RBIs, all had runs scored. That means they kept the line moving and also allowed the bottom of the order to contribute 7, 8, and 9, where I think they've seen most of their struggles this year. But the top of the order has really got to perform, our first 4, 5, 6 guys, and they really showed off their prowess last night offensively. Multiple hits by them top 6 hitters, and they really led the way starting with that first inning.
You mentioned that game last night on the offensive side of things, the 12 runs produced, the game shortened by 10-run rule, but let's note some of those offensive stats, particularly in that lineup. Nick Garcia goes 2 for 2 with a home run in that one. Connor Bolak, 2 for 3. Brandon Arsenal, on the back of not just his 4 innings pitched and holding Algonquin scoreless, but also goes 2 for 4 at the plate. Jake Richards, 3 of 4. Tony Savatelli, 2 for 3 with a double as well. So plenty of excitement and a lot of positive things offensively seen in that game last night. Meanwhile, Kate, as we welcome in the third member of the broadcast team, Kate Robbins here with us as well. And Kate, before we get to senior night festivities here for Hudson, the other side of that coin is a Hudson team that has already clinched Mid-Wach P, poised themselves to be a top seed in the athletic directors tournament next week, one division down size-wise. So they themselves could be looking at a 1 seed in that tournament, and they themselves are poised for a deep run. So this test for both teams comes at a really tremendous time. It's technically the last game of the regular season for both schools. This is a great time to take on 2 fantastic offenses and defenses coming together.
Well, and this is what you hope for if you're a coach, to kind of build your season up to a bit of a crescendo. And Leominster has done that, and Hudson clearly doing that as well. We have that situation in which both of these teams preparing for the Samata tournament coming up, and then into the MIAA postseason shortly thereafter as well. So both of these teams looking to come out of tonight with a win, and we will see. Only one can do that, but we'll see what happens.
And that is the question du jour. Which of the teams can possibly come out of here in a situation where they do grab themselves a win? We've got a dandy of a pitching matchup for you. We'll be looking forward to this. You get a starter on the one side for Hudson in Brady Stewart, who comes in with an ERA of 2.77 in his 35 1/3 innings pitched. He's 3-1 on the season. Meanwhile, for Leominster on the other side of things, Tyler Godin gets the start in a last-minute lineup change for Coach Rich Barnaby. Ryan Garner was originally going to go. That was plan A earlier today. Ryan Garner has been working his way back from an injury and some struggles in returning from that injury. So it looked like he was set to go today on a limited pitch count, but Coach Rich Barnaby makes a change last minute here. He's going to start Tyler Godin instead, his 26 1/3 innings pitched, a 3-2 overall mark coming into this one at this point and time. So great pitching matchup to be featured in this one as well. And you just look at the statistics past the ERAs, and of course those innings pitched. For Brady Stewart of Hudson, he's got himself 62 strikeouts on 15 walks. It's a great ratio if you look at it that way. And Tyler Godin, similarly, got himself 40 strikeouts on 6 walks, and himself an ERA of 2.127. So certainly limited offense, big defense, all those things are things to expect along the way. Could see them organizing things for senior nights.
So senior night festivities are beginning right now. We're going to only be able to take the audio because they are standing literally just out of every camera view. So we should probably take the audio.
I am hoping they are going to come to home plate when they do it. So let's join senior night public address announcer here at Riverside Diamond in Hudson for Hudson Senior Night 2022.
We'll be attending Roger Williams College in the fall. team manager, Griffin Major. Griffin will be attending Northeastern University in the fall. Jackson Sequenzia, accompanied by parents Maria and Jeffrey. In the fall, Jackson will be attending Bridgewater State University. Brady Stewart. Brady is accompanied by parents Sandra and Tom and brother Noah. Brady will be attending Endicott College in the fall. Jason Jacobson, accompanied by parents Holly and Jake. Jason will be attending Stonehill College in the fall. And last but not least, Jack Packers. Jack is accompanied by grandparents Annette, Lee, and Sandra. In the fall, Jack will be attending LaSalle University. Let's give a big congratulations to all the seniors and their families.
You're watching Senior Night here in Hudson at Riverside Diamond. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you getting ready for Leominster and Hudson baseball action here for you on RFM. 24-hour delay. Game's first pitch scheduled for 7 o'clock. And so given the time and turnover here on Thursday night, May the 19th, it only made sense to delay it 24 hours. We'll have it for you right away on YouTube later on this evening
That
as
just
well.
means you don't want to be up until 3 in the morning.
Well, I was going to say, nor does the audience. So you bring the broadcast to the audience as the case may be. Great to see a senior night here. 6 different folks being honored, 5 rostered members of the team, and then the team manager, also a senior as well, making great contributions to the program. And looking over some of the notes sent over to me by Coach Tim Reinhardt, a few things here. In particular, Brady Stewart and Max Pearson, each have an older brother, Noah Stewart and Tim Person, who were 2019 graduates here at Hudson, and they helped lead Hudson to a Central Massachusetts championship back in that 2019 season. So certainly carrying on the tradition of one being a Hawk and on into another as well. A couple of other great notes here. We saw the senior Jason Jacobson. He's a senior shortstop. We'll see in the starting lineup today. He's hitting .367 with 15 RBIs. He's also 5-0 as a pitcher here. Hudson's been getting some great pitching performances. Mikey DiCarlo, the catcher, he's hitting .333. He scored 20 runs this season as well. It's a couple of Hudson Hawks we'll keep our eyes on as well as we get closer to first pitch here at Riverside Diamond. Kate, we were talking about it a little bit off the top, and I know Billy will want to comment on this as well. This is just a fun, old-fashioned, classic baseball facility here in New England.
Billy was thrilled upon his arrival at the ballpark tonight in order to see the historic confines here on the campus of Hudson High School. It is a throwback. It's in phenomenal shape though, so I know that the Bill Thomas is excited.
It reminds me a little bit of Cape Cod baseball.
It does. You know, it's very old school. I love the dugouts actually being dugouts where, they're not in the way of the sight views of the fans.
Sure.
The people behind the dugout, you get the 360-degree view of the park. It's the way it should be. And I just love the feel of it, and it's in great shape. The playing field is it couldn't be in better shape. The infield and the grass are well-maintained and groomed. I just love the feel here of these old historic parks.
And Hudson has been phenomenal at both keeping the treasured classic facilities alive whilst also having beautiful state-of-the-art facilities as well. They got this brand new high school, which you can see sort of beyond our camera range out in center field. You can see the gymnasium side of the facility. And they got that, I would say it's the mid-2000s-ish, if my memory serves. And it was one of those newer schools in this most recent evolution of design work, and it is still in immaculate shape. I had a chance to get over there and check it out as well before we got ready for action here tonight. But you alluded a little bit to the pitching matchup. We talked a little bit about Leominster's road to get here. Let's talk a little bit about Hudson's road to get here. And they've had themselves fits and spurts. Opened the season with 4 straight wins on the road at Nipmuc, back-to-back here at home against North Middlesex and Neshoba, all wins. Then their first time matching up with Groton Dunstable, a 3-1 win back on April the 16th. Then they started trading off wins and losses. The losses of note that are worth talking about, at least for our viewers that want to, kind of put it into some context. They battled Shrewsbury back on that April vacation week, when Shrewsbury played everybody, seemingly.
They ran a gauntlet.
Quite literally. It was a 13-2 win for Shrewsbury, thus a 13-2 loss for Hudson back on April the 21st. They also lost on the road at St. Paul, a 6-5 loss there. Lost in the rematch against Groton Dunstable back on May 13th by a 5-4 margin. And then a loss on the road, 4-3 at Oakmont. Most recently, a win against Fitchburg this past Tuesday, May the 17th. 12-6, the final in that one. Join the public address here inside Riverside Diamond. National anthem, then it's first pitch of Leominster and Hudson.
And let's give it up for Hudson Bat Boy Sean Quinn. who is in the house. Thank you, Sean.
And with that, we're ready for baseball here in Hudson tonight. 57 degrees coming up here at first pitch, and it feels like all of 57, heading for a low of 51. There is some rain that has crept back into the forecast. Of course, it started off a rainy day here all around Massachusetts. That rain petered off somewhere in the early afternoon. We had some scattered drizzle as we were setting up here for the broadcast tonight, and there is some rain on the horizon. Cross your fingers forecast-wise, might get here toward the later innings. We'll see how that affects play as we get ready for action.
Or hopefully the commute home.
Well, we can only hope for that to be the case. Let's meet Leominster's starting lineups submitted by head coach Rich Barnaby. It looks like this 1 through 9. Brandon Arsenault will bat lineup. He'll play center field. Jake Richard plays first, bats second. Nick Garcia, the third baseman, bats in the 3 hole. Nick Massa, the shortstop, bats in the cleanup spot. Tony Savatelli, the second baseman, bats 5th. Batting 6th, Connor Bolak, the designated hitter. The pitcher, Tyler Godin, bats for himself and will hit 7th. The left fielder's Tom Godin, and he will bat 8th. And the catcher, Zach Casey, will round out the 9 spot. Batting 9th in the order. Reese Laura will play right field and will not hit in this starting lineup. The defensive alignment for Hudson looks like this. We'll go left to right across the outfield. It looks like this. It's Nick Tingeloff in left. Then we work our way over to center. It's Jake Attaway in center. And then right over to right field we go, where it's Brendan O'Brien. Let's go left to right across the infield as well. Working our way from third to first, it's Jack Packard and then Jason Jacobson, who we talked about moments ago, having a great year at shortstop. Then we work our way to Jackson Sequenzia, the second baseman, and then Max Person plays first. The catcher, Mikey DiCarlo, catches for the starter, and that is Brady Stewart. If you're just joining us here on RFM, Stewart comes in with a 3-1 overall record, a 2.77 ERA, and 35 1/3 innings pitched, 62 strikeouts to 15 walks at this point in the season in his 4 games pitched, or 35 1/3 innings to this point in time. We are ready for baseball. All right, what's jumping out at everybody? Last minutes here before we get first pitch.
Well, I'm curious if Leominster can continue that offensive explosion they've had, they had last night, and pretty much any night that we're not watching them. I just want to see him score some runs tonight. I want to see him score early, score often, and just carry it on right through all the way. It's all about the offense, I think. You got to score runs to win, and, they're going to piece the pitching together tonight. So, I think runs are going to be at a premium. A half a dozen at least are going to be needed.
We welcome those of you who are joining us here on RFM for the first time, our viewers from Hudson and all across Massachusetts. Here on RFM, we like to remind you this is a radio broadcast with pictures. So anytime we've got 2 stationary cameras, anytime you can't see what you want to see, we'll fill it in with a radio play-by-play. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you, we're ready for first pitch here at Riverside Diamond on the campus of Hudson High School. Brady Stewart set from the windup, and the first pitch is a ball. Misses up and away to the right-handed leadoff for Leominster, Brandon Arsenault. And we're underway 2 minutes late at 7:02, our first pitch. The 1-0 pitch slashed to the backstop for Arsenault, and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Arsenault comes in batting .392. He's a perfect 500, or a 50-50 500 for on-base percentage, and he's slugging .588 at this point in the season. 1-1 pitch, call the strike. And
nice
the count goes to 1-2
ball right there by Stewart.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Stewart. Breaking ball, swung on and missed for strike 3.
Coming right after him. Nice job right there. Get that first out.
No fooling here on batter number 1. Wasn't a lot of opportunity to work the count there, Bill Thomas. He came right down the line at Brandon Arsenault.
Very efficient. Comes out of the box throwing strikes. I'll have to see if that continues here with the number 2 batter.
And it's a first pitch strike to Jake Richard, and the count goes to 0-1. Richard's batting .375. Got a .519 on base percentage. He's slugging .450.
Stewart does not wait. He is ready to go right when he gets that ball back. He is not wasting any time. So, Todd, any talking between pitches better be quick.
I was going to say, and here he comes. Here's his 0-2 offering. Breaking ball, missed the outside window, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. Kate, if you're a batter and you know the pitcher is going to catch and go, what can you do?
You got to make sure that you are ready to go, to be perfectly candid with you.
1-2 pitch, cut on and missed. 2 batters to the plate, 2 down on strikes, 8 total pitches by my count thus far.
Very efficient. Good job right here starting off for Stewart. And, you know, you're right. You got to be ready. He's around the plate, and you got to think that every pitch is going to be a strike.
That brings Nick Garcia to the plate. 2 of 2 last night in the game against Algonquin, including a home run shot. He had 2 3-run home runs in a same game earlier this year and sees a first pitch down and away for ball number 1 to Garcia. Stewart's got the ball back with him. 1-0. Missed the kneecap. Count goes to 2-0, and it's the first time a batter has been ahead of Stewart. The 2-0 pitch to Garcia. And that one down through the glove and slow through the grass. Still wet out here. Keep that in mind as the game develops as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a thick playing surface here tonight. Infield is going to have to be hustling.
3-0 pitch is ball 4.
Uncharacteristic after those first 2 batters.
Indeed, and it is only, as we look at the stats, that is only the 16th walk given up by Stewart this season. Garcia was batting .373. His on-base percentage .433, and he's slugging .549. Brings Nick Massa to the plate. The Knicks tend to occupy space next to each other in all aspects of the lineup as Nick Massa sees a ball 1 down. Nick Massa, he himself batting .386, got a .473 on base percentage. He's slugging .455, and quickly DiCarlo, the catcher, says timeout. Let's talk this over.
5 straight balls by Stewart after very efficient 2 batters. I think 8 strikes and 2 balls out of his first 10 pitches, but all of a sudden he's lost the plate. 5 straight out of the zone.
Nice read by the catcher, DiCarlo. Settle down his hurler. Counts 1-0 to Massa. Garcia takes his lead down at first. Stewart working from the stretch. Short leg kick, the 1-0, missed low. Count goes 2-0.
Good job by DiCarlo there, keeping the ball in front of him. Down on his knees on those low pitches.
Well, now with 6 balls in a row, the Leominster batter is going to start to get pretty choosy.
2-0. Checked up the swing, but a called strike.
You got to make him throw one there. Still got a couple to work with. If you're Massa, pick out one you like.
Garcia goes on the pitch. It one hops into DiCarlo, and the stolen base completed for Garcia.
Couldn't have picked a better pitch to run on there. Not a curveball, but it was a 55-foot fastball there, or something a little off speed, but took a nice hop up into the catcher's chest there, kept it in front of him.
5th stolen base for Garcia. The 3-1 pitch, line drive into center field. Charging his Attaway, and he'll make the catch waist high to end the threat. Leominster sends 4 to the plate in the inning. First 2 come up and go down by way of the K. It's no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left on through 1/2 inning here at Riverside Diamond. We're scoreless, Leominster and Hudson here on RFM. Garcia picked up that 5th stolen base on the season for him. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, let's meet the starting lineups for Hudson as submitted by Coach Tim Reinhart. 1 through 9 looks like this. Mikey DiCarlo, the catcher, bats leadoff, batting .333 this year. Nick Sequenzia, second baseman, he bats second. The 3 hole is occupied by Jason Jacobson, the shortstop. Max Person, the first baseman, bats cleanup. The pitcher, Brady Stewart, he'll bat 5th. The third baseman is Jack Packard, he bats 6th. Dan Demirjian, the designated hitter, bats 7th. Nick Tingloff bats 8th, plays left field. And the right fielder, Brendan O'Brien, bats 9th. Jake Attaway, the center fielder, had the catch to end the top of the first inning. He is in the lineup as the 10th player. He will not bat in the current alignment. They will line up to take on Leominster pitcher Tyler Godin, who gets the start. Godin was the 2nd draft starter for tonight, but for Coach Barnaby, this is what it's looked like for Godin thus far. 3-2 on the year in his 26 1/3 innings pitched. He's got an ERA of 2.127, 40 Ks against 6 walks to this point. Very efficient to this point in the season for Godin. Leominster's defensive alignment looks like this. Left to right across the outfield. It's Gossin, Arsenault, and Laura. Right to left across the infield. Richard, Savatelli, Massa, Garcia. And Casey does the catching for the starter, Godin.
Great job by Godin so far this season. A nice strikeout to walk ratio. Not giving up free base runners, and that's real important, especially leadoff walks. We know leadoff walks can just be a killer.
And it's something that Leominster has had problems with at points throughout the year. So we go to the top of the order here for Hudson. First batter coming to the plate. It's Mikey DiCarlo, the catcher, occupying that leadoff spot. Leominster's had some luck with a catcher in the leadoff spot in recent memory as well. DiCarlo's batting .333, as we said, a .541 on-base percentage. He's slugging .452 as he stands in against Godin. Godin works from the stretch. Got that front left foot toed out a little bit. Now brings it closed. He has his signal. Here's his first offering. Off speed, catches the inside corner for strike number 1 to DiCarlo.
It's one way to get him looking right away, show him that curveball, and get him thinking right from pitch 1.
Kate,
Right.
did I hear the
You
Seagulls
did.
from Finding
No, but
Nemo?
they're saying Mike. It's his name.
01 is
I caught
called
it too.
strike 2.
But they are. They're doing the Seagulls from Finding Nemo, but they're doing it with his name. Mike? I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie.
I was wondering if you were going to come to me.
The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, called strike 3. Froze him. Count.
Yeah, nobody believes it.
Went 3 straight pitches there. Strike, and the breaking ball falls in for strike 3 called. Brings Jackson Sequenzia to the plate, the second baseman. Sequenzia is batting .313, his on-base percentage .340, he's slugging .354. He'll get his first look at Godin. Godin goes hard fastball, wild, and reeled in by the catcher Casey. Count goes to 1-0.
Nice job by Casey just to pop up and keep that from flying to the backstop.
1-0 pitch. Too high, count goes to 2-0.
Compact strike zone here for this particular batter.
Indeed. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Godin. Breaking ball popped up in the air toward right field. Drifting over to right center is Laura and makes the catch for out number 2.
Nice job right there, routine catch.
Now batting, number
No, we saw
15,
Laura come in relief.
Jacobson.
Talked about how young he is. I believe he's a freshman, was promoted from the JV. Now he's getting some playing time in the field. Good to see young players getting some starting time.
Jason Jacobson comes to the plate. Kate, you talked about the compact stance. Now Jacobson, quite tall. He hits a ground ball in the first pitch. He sees to Garcia, up with it and across the diamond. 5-3 the putout, and an efficient first inning of work for Tyler Godin. 3 come to the plate for a Hudson. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody reaches base, thus nobody left on. 1 complete here at Riverside Diamond. Hudson and Leominster deadlocked at 0 here on RFM. It's great to have you with us. Hope you're enjoying this one. 24-hour delay on Facebook Live, our premiere, facebook.com/Media Rivalry, or available on demand whenever you want it on YouTube, youtube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe today. Or you can find yourselves directly to our YouTube page by following the tiny URL, tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry. Also, if you want the updates on the schedule and a collection of all the headlines brought to you by some of the best reporters from all across the region, we gather all those best sources into one Twitter account on RFM on Twitter. You find that on Twitter at Media Rivalry with a follow there today. Scoreless through 1 here on RFM. We get our second look this inning at Brady Stewart, who had a great first inning of work.
Yeah, very efficient. He struggled with that third batter. Couldn't find the plate, but came back to get out of the inning with a line drive to center field. no harm with that walk, but we'll have to see. The top of the order did so much work last night for the Blue Devils, and we'll have to see if they can't get it going here tonight.
Leominster goes 5, 6, 7 through this part of the order. Savatelli, Bolak, and Godin due up at the plate. Tony Savatelli had a double last night in the win over Algonquin. Batting .333, slugging .467. And he hits the first pitch he sees deep to left field, and it one-hops the wall. Savatelli is around first and cruising on into second. He took that one deep, but not quite out of the ballpark, Bill Thomas. A one-hop on the warning track to the fence.
Yeah, when you talk about deep, I was looking at the numbers, and down the line here we got 333 to left, but I tell you, it goes out to 435 really quick in center field. And I'm guessing that's about 400 close to it where that ball landed in left center, but a deep poke gets himself a nice stand-up double.
I don't think they probably have that many home runs.
Brings Connor Bolak to the plate. He shows
good
bunts.
Take on that bunt.
Indeed he did.
That's a good take.
Jackknifed out of the way and then some.
Get me out of there.
Kate doesn't get mad at me.
And now DiCarlo comes out from behind the dish, gives a couple of signals to the infield in reference to Savatelli down at second. The 1-0 pitch. Missed. Count goes to 2-0.
Just a comment about how cavernous it is in center field. I'm looking at center field. He looks like he's closer to second base than he is to the fence out there. 435 big. Looks like it's a half a mile away.
2-0 pitch from Stewart. Too low. Count goes to 3-0. Bolak's batting .304. His on-base percentage, .333. Slugging, .326.
See if he can't move at least Savatelli over to third.
3-0 pitch is in the dirt and dug out by DiCarlo. It's ball 4. Walked him on 4 straight pitches.
Nice job there.
First two batters of the inning reach base for Leominster. Savatelli's on at second. Bolak now at first, and that brings the pitcher Tyler Godin to the plate. Godin's batting .237, a .412 on base percentage, slugging .342 to this point in the season. Savatelli takes his lead out at second. Bolak behind him at first, and Stewart starts off Godin with a ball number 1 in.
7, 8, 9 hitters struggled a little bit last night. I think collectively they only had 2 hits in that offensive explosion, but good time for them to pick it up.
1-0 pitch, cut on and missed. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Godin with that toed out right-handed stance, choked up on the bat, shows bunt. He gets the bunt down. It's killed into the grass. He's trucking down toward first. He will not get there. Nice job as Packard charges and slings it across the diamond to Person to nip Godin at first base. 5-3 the putout on the sac bunt. It advances the runners 90 feet in each direction, so Savatelli now stands at third. Bolak down at second, and Kate, it was a pretty bunt up the third base line.
I've got no complaints about that. That's a pretty one and does your job very, very well. You get that down on the left side of the diamond. You're able to advance those runners to scoring position. You only have 1 out, and it gives the rest of your lineup something to play with. Nice execution by the Blue Devils on offense there.
Tom Godin sees his first pitch from Stewart, and it missed. Count goes to 1-0. Godin playing left field, batting .189, a .348 on base percentage. He's slugging .216 to this point in the year. 1-0 pitch, also missed, and the count goes to 2-0.
And a little note on that bunt, that grass is like Velcro. It took about 3 hops and stopped. Pitcher almost misplayed it, thought it was going to bounce a little deeper, but nice recovery.
2-0 pitch, and a breaking ball sweeps for strike 1. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Kate, what are you seeing from Stewart this part of the game?
Right now, I'm seeing there are some pitches working very nicely that he's gotten for a striker right around the neighborhood, and then some of them, like that nice breaking ball
2-1 breaking ball there for strike 2.
Nice breaking ball there. Some of the pitches, they're just not missing close enough, and so it's not giving his catcher or the umpire really much to work with when he's missing big.
2-2 breaking ball is wide. DiCarlo tried to bring it back and couldn't. Count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes to Godin.
Yeah, he's had trouble. Stewart has spot in his fastball too. Most of it's been wide. wide and high. Have to see if he can get a little more
Payoff pitch.
pinpoint like
Cut
that.
on and missed.
Right there, as I spoke, he decided to bring one.
First out, second out of the inning.
Casey.
Takes the pressure off the defense. They can settle back a little bit, especially in the middle.
And this is starting to set up like an inning that Leominster has had in previous games we've seen here on RFM. They've stranded a small village on the base pass throughout the year. Breaking ball missed inside to Casey. Count goes to 1-0. And the numbers, Kate, in some of these shutouts as far as folks left on base, 8, 9, 10 throughout a game. It's not ideal for offensive production.
It's the multiple hit inning that kind of eludes them at the moment when we're here, seemingly. We're not going to be invited back. Coach Barnaby has already told us, it basically, well, unspokenly, without having to tell me, if it happens again, I don't know that we're going to be welcome back this season.
Ball gets
At
slashed.
least we might
out of
have
play.
to set up on the opposite side of the field.
I don't know that we'll be allowed back.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball, strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2.
He used the word curse. So the RFM curse is what he mentioned. That doesn't really allude like, hey, just stay in left field.
I wasn't here for it, but I can hear his voice
So if he
and
can't
the
leave-
intonation. 1-2 breaking ball, cut on and missed. Inning over.
We did ride him into the finals last year. I think we were the lucky charm last year.
We just may have Rich striked him, as the case may be. Leominster gets the 2 leadoff batters in the inning on. Tony Savatelli with a deep warning track double, followed up by a Connor Bolak walk, and that's as far as Leominster got in the inning. So it's no runs on 1 hit and no errors. 2 left on through 1.5 here at Riverside Diamond. Leominster and Hudson knotted at 0. 4, 5, 6, heart of the order due up for Hudson in the bottom of the second inning. And more to come. This is RFM. To the bottom of the second we go. 4, 5, 6. As we said, it's Person, Stewart, and Packard due up in the inning for Hudson.
Now batting for Hudson.
Pitchers batting for
Number
themselves.
14, first
Not
baseman,
something that we see often, but I love it.
I got cut off on a quick pitch, Kate, earlier. You had mentioned Jackson Sequenzia and his being a bit of a diminutive strike zone. Since then, the Jolly Green Giant
They have,
has
yeah.
batted one right after another.
Yeah, Sequencia's nickname, if you heard it on the crowd mic from his teammates, is Squirt.
Great
He's
nickname.
he's a typical second baseman. I mean, I'm sure he's all over the field. And he's most likely dirty by the second inning in most games.
First pitch from Godin here in the bottom of the second. Made it all of about 59 feet. Hopped on the front of the plate, over the umpire to the backstop. Count goes to 1-0 to Pearson. The 1-0 offering. Nice breaking ball, but it missed the zone. Count goes 2-0. Person's batting .292, a .306 on base percentage, and he is slugging .375. 2-0 pitch. Nice breaking ball to the outside corner. Strike one. A little bit more like a slider, something sweeping across the zone as opposed to breaking in. And thus far, what we've seen from Godin is a lot of angular pitches. It's the 2-1. Fastball missed the outside corner, 3-1.
That had some angle.
Indeed it did. And this is after a very efficient bottom of the first inning with a strikeout looking on 3 pitchers, a fly out on 4 pitches, and a ground out on 1 pitch. And there's ball 4. Tough start there. Walk issued to open the bottom of the second inning, and Person will stand down at first base.
Well, that's one of those things when you have multiple base runners on, you get a hit, extend the top half of the inning. In these night games, it's a little chillier than you might expect in this time of the year, and so it becomes a situation where you as a pitcher, you go out there and you don't realize you've tightened up just a little bit. It might take a batter or two to be able to settle back down. And unfortunately, when your team was on offense, they were not able to generate any runs to go with those base runners. And so right now you're working in a tight situation. You've got a 0-0 game, so you don't really have any room for error. But you got to warm back up.
Pitcher-pitcher matchup here. First pitch missed for a ball, and now Godin will check over to first. Tag applied by Richard, and Person back in plenty of time. Stewart's batting .385, a .433 on base percentage. He's slugging .538.
0-1 count.
And that count becomes
0-2.
Strike.
Yep, 0-2.
2.
He went around.
0-2.
Interesting.
Half swing, but I think the ball was in the strike zone anyways, Todd and Kate.
I didn't think they
Umpire had
recorded it as a strike.
He did.
Okay. 0-2 pitch. Missed inside. Shouldn't have erased the ball. Count goes to 1-2.
The baseball strike zone, as you know, eludes me anyway. So
It's three-dimensional, just like the one in softball.
I just don't. I don't see the box apparently very well.
Going on the pitch is Person. The 1-2 offering missed for a ball. Casey's throw is through. Massa at second base. On his feet is Person and legging it out to third base on the overthrow.
Nice base running there.
Good heads-up base running. Ball right into the body of the sliding base runner, though. Tough play out there for the shortstop.
That was a ball on that pitch, so a 2-2 count now on the batter, and now a base runner all the way to third base for the Hawks.
Godin discards the wet baseball back to the umpire, and it's a 2-2 count, as Kate just mentioned. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Stewart with a run standing 90 feet away at third base.
Productive at bat either way here for Stewart, moving that runner.
2-2 breaking ball, short of the zone. Count goes to 3-2.
Hate to bill him on the throw, but I got Casey on a throw in there. Let's Person advance to third.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I agree.
3-2 count for Stewart. Godin's payoff pitch. Called strike 3.
High strike, but gets the call. Good job right there. Come right after him.
Kate, as you noted, a productive at-bat because the runner was able to move to third, but Godin battles back in the at-bat to get the strikeout called. Second of the night.
The Hudson's party continues. Only 1 out. Base runner all the way on third base.
That was a good matchup there. Opposing pitcher unable to get himself a run there. No outs, a runner on third. Can't produce.
We hear all about quality losses, Todd. That we can say, yes, it was a strikeout, but a quality at bat either way.
First pitch to Jack Packard is a ball in the dirt, and Casey was just able to slow it down enough, keep it near home plate. It didn't reach the grass, but didn't take off.
And he knew where it was.
And the grass isn't going to let the ball get very far away from home plate tonight either. So anybody on there is going to be heads up.
The 1-0 pitch fouled to the backstop by Jack Packard, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Packard's batting .225, a .373 on base percentage. He's slugging the same .225. The 1-1 breaking ball missed inside, and Casey fields it. Count goes to 2-1. I'm not loving Casey standing up on those breaking balls in the dirt. It's a lot more 5-hole to defend.
Yeah, he's keeping his glove down there, but he's popping up, and yeah, I'd hate to see something get through the wickets.
2-1, breaking ball popped up. toward the triangle in right center. It's over the head of Savatelli and in front of Laura in right field. Person waits, but he will advance and score. And Hudson's got the first run here in the bottom of the second as they jump out to a 1-0 Hawk lead.
Nice little RBI single in right center field. Second baseman going back, but just over his outstretched glove. Laura with an attempt there at home. Made it a little closer than I thought he was going to. Fortunately, the runner held up at first. He didn't get to advance on that throw, but nice job putting the ball in play right there, getting that first run of the game for Hudson.
That's where, as a Hawk, you can thank the Stewart at bat for setting that up, because you've got that kind of bloop hit into right center field, still able to score without any problem.
Godin's first pitch to Demirjian is a ball high, and the count goes to 1-0. Demirjian batting 200. Of 245 on base percentage. He's slugging 222. And now a timeout taken after ball 2, and Casey is going to head out to talk to his pitcher in Godin. Godin started off with a very strong inning number 1, as we mentioned, and all of a sudden he's got himself in trouble in inning number 2 of work.
And the last thing you want to do is create more base runners here. You know, we talked about what a great strikeout to walk ratio that Godin's had, and you know, that leadoff walk comes back to hurt him.
2-0 pitch. Fastball for a strike, count to 2-1.
Always like to see your pitcher come back with a strike after having a conversation with the the other half of the battery there. Nice to see a strike on that.
Demirjian still ahead by a pitch, a 2-1 from Godin. Slashed and popped in the air toward the shortstop shallow left, and Massa trails back over the shoulder and makes the catch for out number 2.
Good job right there, keeping that in the infield in front of him, keeping that runner at first base.
Number 2.
Looked like the ball almost popped out of his glove. He had to do a double take there, but Massa did squeeze it up.
Brings Nick Tingaloff to the plate. Tingaloff batting 211. 302 on base percentage, and he's slugging 211. Sees a first pitch cut on and missed, and the count goes to 0-1. Tingaloff is the son of former Westboro and West Boylston head football coach Dave Tingaloff, great friend to this broadcast.
Where I knew that name from. I knew it was familiar.
Ball
Thank you.
Down and away. Count goes to 1-1. Had a chance to see Coach Tingaloff before the game. Big supporter of these broadcasts here over the years. Can't thank him enough. 1-0 Hudson's lead. And a 1-1 pitch to Tingaloff. Missed outside. Count goes to 2-1. Packard down at first. Keep taking a short lead over there. Godin working from the stretch. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball high for strike 2. Cut that one in across the letters. Level count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Not a lot of strike zone to work there with Tingaloff either, but got that high strike call.
Godin's ready now. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Cut on and missed. It was in the dirt. Casey up with it, and he has to complete the strikeout with the throw on down to first and Richard. 2 strikeouts in the inning helps Leominster out of trouble, but it's not before Hudson strikes for a run. The leadoff walk comes back to bite Leominster in the bottom of the second inning as Person steals second, then advances to third on the throwing error, and eventually comes in and scores on a Jack Packard RBI single. Through 2 here at Riverside Diamond. It's Hudson 1 and Leominster nothing. More to come. This is RFM. To the top of the third we go here on RFM. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here. High school baseball here on RFM. Hudson and Leominster. The Hawks with a 1-0 lead over the Blue Devils as we go to the top of the third inning. And we go back to the top of the order for Leominster here in the top of the third. Center fielder Brendan Arsenal struck out swinging in his first at-bat on 4 pitches. And he takes a mighty cut at strike number 1 from Stewart. Stewart's 0-1. One hopped and to the backstop it goes. 1 ball and 1 strike goes the count.
Think of Arsenal's patient here. He'll get a pitch he likes.
1-1 pitch. Fastball high. Cut on and missed again. Count goes to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, he lets that one go by, and the count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kate, I think at this point, we just got to talk about pitch selection here. Right now, the Leominster hitters pressing a little bit here and just not picking out the right pitches from Stewart.
Potentially, yes.
2-2 pitch.
I was muted.
Popped up and in foul territory. Great chase given there by O'Brien, and he will glove that up. Lot of foul territory here at Riverside Diamond in all directions. But the catch made by O'Brien to retire Arsenal on a fly out to right field. Kate, I'll give you another shot at that because your mic was off.
My mic was off, yes. I think I would agree with that. I think right now, with regard to the cadence that Stewart is kind of bringing on the mound, I think that it does take some getting used to. I mean, anytime that you grow up as a hitter, you're told to take your time and make sure you're on your time. But it's a situation where if everybody else is ready to go, you need to be ready to go too. So I think that right now it's one of those situations where the Leominster hitters are just trying to get settled in. And then, as you said, pitch selection becoming key here as well.
Richard on the 0-2 pitch hits the weak grounder to second. Sequenzia charges, makes the play and snaps it across for out number 2.
Nice hustle play right there. That grass just slowing that ball down. Had to come all the way in off the dirt and catch up to it.
Stewart making quick work of these Leominster hitters yet again here in the top of the third. We do have Angel Baez, I believe, in the pen for Leominster warming up. We knew that it might be a situation where it was pitching by committee for Leominster here, trying to get their bullpen and their starting pitching settled before going into the Samata tournament and then into the statewide playoffs thereafter. So right now you're seeing short work from a lot of the pitching staff for Leominster. Just a couple of innings, very strict pitch counts for most of their batteries so that they can make sure that they have fresh arms, because in baseball, unlike in the other bat ball sport, you have a situation where pitch count is key to your success.
Count 1-2 to Garcia. Godin's got 23 pitches by Billy's tabulation.
That was
to
just
this point.
Just in the second inning.
Oh, that was in the second inning. Excuse
7,
me.
but he had a long
30
second
pitches
inning there,
in
That's why he had a
I'm
long
over 40.
second inning.
I got 43.
So I think that he's probably done.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The count to Garcia. Chopped, charged, Packard up with it across the diamond.
Nice stretch.
In time with a great play by Person at first.
Big
Beautiful
league play
stretch.
right there, all around.
3 up and 3 down in the inning for the Blue Devils. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on through 2.5 here at Riverside Diamond. It's 1-0 Hudson on top of Leominster. More to come. This is RFM. To the bottom of the third inning we go. It's 9 top for Hudson, so it's O'Brien, DiCarlo, and Sequenzia due up in the inning for the Hawks. O'Brien stands in. Last batter in the order to get a first look at Godin. And pops the first pitch he sees up in the infield. And Richard will dodge the bag over at first, keep an eye on it, and make the catch. One pitch, one out, and that was the kind of efficiency that Godin needed here to start the third.
Well, Richard makes that look very easy for Leominster defensively, but when you have traffic coming down that base path directly at you and you're having to dance kind of into foul territory, that's not as easy as he just made it look. And so a nice job there to make that look completely just nonchalant, can of corn, you know. Those are the types of plays that impress me.
It's a ball 1 to DiCarlo as we go back to the top of the order. He was caught looking in his first at-bat to lead off the ball game. 1-0, missed outside. Count goes to 2-0 to the right-handed batter from the right-handed pitcher. Back on O'Brien just for a moment, and this is why one pitch, one out is great. Batting .333, on-base percentage of .400, slugging .444. At this point in the season was O'Brien, and he was retired in one pitch as DiCarlo pops this one up to the backstop for strike one. Count goes to 2-1.
Billy, you may have just saved me over here.
Hey, modify and adapt, Kate. Modify and adapt, whatever it takes.
Every day.
Timeout taken by DiCarlo. He wants to control the space a little bit. And this is the thing, Kate, I'm kind of surprised with Leominster on the offensive side of things. They have chosen not to do at this point, which is play a little cat and mouse, try to slow things down a little bit against Stewart.
Try to break some rhythm that Stewart's created out there on the mound.
2-1 missed down and in, count to 3-1 to DiCarlo. Now, of course, the rules in baseball and softball as well have been being tightened up at this level in order to, of course, limit the amount of cat and mouse you can play, but you do get a little bit more flexibility in baseball. 3-1 down and in for ball 4, and it's a walk issued to DiCarlo with one out.
And pitching coach, and we didn't think that Godin would last much longer here. We saw some action in the bullpen, had a long second inning, and maybe go out, give him a little breather, but we'll have to see if they make a switch here.
You had him for 40 pitches, Bill Thomas, through 2
innings
innings of work,
at least that,
roughly speaking.
Counting warm-ups, foul balls, it adds up quickly. You don't realize it. And, he had a real efficient first inning. I had him for under 10, but he just labored in that second inning, although he did only give up one run. He faced 5 batters, and they were all deep count batters.
Visit with the coaching staff, and Godin stays. A 1-0 Hudson lead to this point, one out, bottom of the third inning. Great to have you along with us here on RFM. Always great to get back out to the Diamond for more baseball. We got more baseball ahead for you as the season turns to the postseason. Hopefully see some baseball in the Samata tournament next week and Samata tournament finals the week to follow. Follow us at Media Rivalry on Twitter for scheduling information. Godin checks back to first, sends the one step for DiCarlo back, has yet to offer a pitch to Sequenzia at the plate. Sequenzia flew out to right field for out number 2 in the first. Fastball down through Casey all the way to the backstop. And the wild pitch takes DiCarlo down to second.
I mean, there is a lot of room back here behind home plate to the backstop. It's got to be 60 feet back here. As much distance from the pitcher's mound to home plate. That's a lot of distance for the catcher to cover.
The deepest
that I've seen, certainly.
That we've seen.
And there's no rebound back here either. It's all fence. There's no padding or anything back here like you see on some backstops.
Old school.
Count is 1-0 to Sequenzia. DiCarlo now in scoring position.
There's that time again.
And Sequenzia asks for time. Leominster just looks uncomfortable. I've got to get to that. Every time something has happened thus far, I've seen a reaction emotionally. I'll get back to that after this pitch. Counts 1-0. Here's the 1-0 offering. Popped up, this one toward the right side. Savatelli calls for it, takes charge on the rim of the infield, and makes the catch for out number 2. And I look at a couple of things. I look at body language, which I think is a big thing. A couple of batters, Jake Richard did this in both of his at-bats. When the counts or the calls didn't go his way, the shoulders were flying and flopping, and maybe it's the second day in a row, so you already got that built-in frustration, but you're coming off of a great win yesterday. Things are churning in your direction, and you're already upset with calls in the first inning. It feels like awfully early to feel that, frustrated.
Another time called again.
Yeah, and there's another timeout, and Godin had reacted to the previous batter, got up on the next pitch, but he did react. The hands kind of went up, and the frustration, just some of the body language right now indicating to me Leominster's uncomfortable at this point.
Yeah, and Hudson's playing that game, just, rubbing him a little bit.
And Godin decides to check back to second, and DiCarlo will step back. Savatelli catches and applies the tag, all good. Still a pitch yet to be offered to Jacobson, who grounded out to third base to end the first.
Yeah, I saw one pitch. Didn't wait long. We'll have to see if he looks at a couple here. Big strike zone.
Going on the pitch, throw down a third. Great play by Garcia to get the tag down. And he is out!
Yep.
He is out at third base.
Wow.
Great play by Garcia. He saved Casey, who had to scramble, sent a throw that was destined for left field. Garcia makes the play and applies the tag.
Yeah, and DiCarlo must have came off the bag there because Casey did everything. Garcia did everything he could not to let that ball go in left field. Came down with a tag, and DiCarlo must have just been rolling off the bag there, but umpire called him out.
And for Leominster, that's a huge play to
Huge
get
out.
them out of the bottom of the third inning. Through 3 here at Riverside Diamond. Hudson 1 and Leominster nothing. Jacobson will come back to bat, having never seen but one pitch in this previous at-bat for a ball. He'll lead off things for Hudson when we resume. More to come. To the top of the fourth we go. 4, 5, 6 due up in the order for Leominster as they look to get something started. Stay with us. This is RFM. To the top of the fourth we go for Leominster. 4, 5, 6, as we said, due up in the inning. That's Massa, Savatelli, and Bolak due up in the inning for the blue and white. Kate just took a look over at the Leominster bullpen behind us. It's the bullpen among the pines as the first pitch comes to Massa for a called strike. And we see Tyler Godin's working with Zach Casey a little bit. 0-1 offering to Massa. Count to 0-2 on the called strike.
Well, the difficulty right now is that Stewart for the Hawks has just been so darn efficient. Leominster hasn't really had much time to regroup because Stewart's essentially been going through these Leominster batters so quickly.
That includes this play-by-play announcer. Count is 1-2. Fastball, slap to the backstop. We'll try another 1-2 pitch here. Massa flew out to center field to close the first.
Todd and Kate, I'm wondering, he gave up that walk, uncharacteristic to the second batter, and if Godin might just be over here staying loose a little bit. I notice he's sat down now, and Baez is back up. But I think they're just trying to stay warm over there and stay ready.
And perhaps Godin trying to work something out a little bit.
Aren't we all?
Say in life in general. Stewart's 1-2 pitch. Slapped foul down the first base line. will try a third 1-2 pitch.
One thing I just noticed, too, which is kind of odd because we're used to Doyle Field, the open areas beyond the dugouts,
Yes.
no fences. Fans are right there on
1-2
the out-of-bounds
breaking
line.
ball. Cut on and missed for out number 1. Masses retired.
Bill Thomas, you mentioned that along the right field line. This kind of is, in the bat ball sports here at Hudson, this is kind of the thing.
layout.
If you go over to the softball diamond as well, you will see the very same situation on both foul lines over on their softball field. So it's actually very heartening and heartwarming to be able to see here. Anytime you come to a bat ball sport here on the confines of Hudson High School, you are going to see those fans lining the way. It's always fun.
It's great to see them in the lawn chairs and not hidden behind the fencing. You know, the chain link fencing.
Did you see that?
The official
dull the view a little bit.
check swinged himself on the
He
strike call.
certainly did.
Count goes to 2-0.
Kind of
Indecisive on that.
a half and went to the itch.
Stuck it in his pocket instead. Count goes to 2-0. Swung on and missed for Savatelli. That becomes strike 1. Savatelli doubled in his first at-bat, advanced to third, and then stranded there in the second. 2-1 from Stewart to Savatelli.
Nice
Check
holds.
swing, yes indeed, on a fastball high, and the count goes to 3-1. Savatelli trying to get loose in the batter's box. Stewart ready on a 3-1 offering. Fastball, strike at the knees. 3-2 goes the count.
Nice pitch right there. Stewart doing a good job here, mixing up his pitches.
3-2 pitch to Savatelli. Ball 4 high. And Savatelli starts the inning off with a 1-out walk. Brings Connor Bolak to the plate. Walked and stranded at second, back in the second.
I've got 1 out. Do you have 1 out?
I do. It was the swinging strikeout for Nick
You
Massa.
just got me because you said start standing off. I said what?
With a 1-out walk.
Got it. Sorry.
Bolak sees a called strike in the first pitch that he looks at in his second
May have
at-bat.
been taking you a little too literally there. I apologize.
Count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Fouled to the backstop. Count goes to 0-2. Looking out across the diamond here, and I'm looking out at Jackson Sequenzia. Bill Thomas, you called him the prototypical second baseman, and what I love, the game under the lights, he's got the Oakleys upside down on the hat
He's
brim.
wearing
I
them.
love the look.
He's
If you're going to
wearing
have them, wear them. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and then Savatelli on the check down from DiCarlo at first. Gets back with the 1-step. It's 2 strikeouts in the inning for Stewart.
Sequenzia, not the only one. I believe O'Brien has his on out there as well in right field. I do love the look.
6 strikeouts for Stewart to this point in the game. Breaking ball for ball 1 to Tyler Godin, the pitcher. Grounded out, or excuse me, sacrifice bunt out in his last at-bat. He advanced Bolak and Savatelli 90 feet with a bunt. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. And Kate, that brings up only one thing, one of my favorite songs of the 80s. Our good friend Corey Hart, I Wear My Sunglasses at Night.
Darn right
1
you do.
ball, 1 strike. Hudson with the 1-0 lead. Ball low and in the dirt. DiCarlo knocked it down. Making the advances Savatelli, and the throw is wide at second base. Sequenzia, glasses and all, knocked the ball down to keep it from going into center field by giving up the body. But Savatelli is able to advance to second.
I think 2-1, I believe, on the
Yep,
count.
that's
now.
correct. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. It was called the ball here at the plate for Godin. Godin with the little wiggle and the toed out right-handed stance. Savatelli going on the pitch. Ball inside. The sling to third, and Savatelli's got another steal.
Not wasting any time. Hey, generate your own offense here. Look for a pass ball. Try to generate a run without a hit. I like it.
Savatelli takes back-to-back bases for Leominster. 3 balls and a strike, the count to Godin, and he pops the 3-1 pitch up and out of play, and we'll have a full count with 2 outs and Savatelli standing at third base.
And this is one of the things when you're talking about trying to manufacture runs that I've always been very pleased to see from the Barnaby coaching staff, trying to manufacture runs.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Anytime they get that opportunity.
There was some excitement on a walk in between, but Stewart struck out every batter swinging except for Savatelli, who drew the walk, then took second, then stole third, but he is stranded at third base. 4 come to the plate. 3 down by way of the K, 7 strikeouts on the game for Stewart through 4 innings of work. Through 3.5 here at Riverside Diamond. It's Hudson 1, Leominster nothing.
I want to find the river.
And as Kate goes looking for the river
I
here
can't
in
find the
Hudson,
river.
3, 4, 5 due up in the inning.
I know there's one
for
downtown.
the Hawks. More to come. This is RFM. 3, 4, 5 due up in the inning for Hudson. That's Jacobson, who did not get to finish his at-bat when the caught stealing finished the bottom of the 3rd inning as Casey snapped a throw down to Garcia, who made a wonderful play at third base, we'll say once again, to apply the tag to retire DiCarlo to end the threat in the 3rd. So Jacobson comes to the plate. He'll be followed by Person and Stewart in the order this inning.
Jacobson 2 at-bats. I think he's seen all 3 pitches.
He has been effective in getting bat on ball or finding his way out. And there's potentially pitch 4, and it's a ball high. He's right where he was when the inning ended. Tall, lean frame for Jacobson.
What's his power numbers, Todd? Kind of curious.
Ball misses up and in, sends him jackknifing out of the way.
53 at bats. Let me get over here. 12 doubles, got 3 home runs. Right in the middle of everything. Scored 15. Some walks.
Ball is wide once again, and the count runs to 3-0 to Jacobson.
Gotta be careful here.
Godin's 3-0 offering is a strike 1 taking all the way. The count goes to 3-1. Coach Reinhardt said of Jacobson, he mentioned, of course, senior night shortstop, hitting .367, 15 RBIs. But I think the part most interesting, he's also 5-0 as a pitcher. And he sees ball 4.
I'd love to see him on the mound. I wonder if he's he looks like a power pitcher, lanky, probably a lot of leg kick. Got that big arm swing.
And that's going to do for Godin.
I think so, Todd. Take it.
Godin will be sending himself out. I'm assuming this is going to involve some defensive changes here. Godin may go out to his familiar right field. We'll see what Coach Barnaby elects to do. As he's on his way to the mound, he will take the ball from Godin. Godin heads at least to the bench for the moment, and Angel Baez will be the new pitcher for Leominster when we continue. A break and we're back with more. Close the book on Godin. Baez takes over when we continue. This is RFM. Angel Baez, the new pitcher for Leominster, with nobody out and one on here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here on RFM. As we mentioned, close the book on Tyler Godin. His 3 innings pitched, he only allowed 1 hit, a run it was earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts in his 3 innings of work for Tyler Godin. Angel Baez takes over on the mound for Leominster. Baez comes in with 21 1/3 innings pitched, a sub-1 ERA of 9.84 for the sophomore. And Baez works from the stretch, and he will send the first thing out of his hand over to first base to check the runner back.
Just so you guys are both aware, we have a pop-up shower that will be here momentarily, but it will be short-lived.
Short-lived?
Just a sprinkle, maybe.
Baez has got a 3-2 record. His first offering comes to the plate, and it is bunted foul.
Tisk, tisk.
For strike 1. So Baez a 3-2 record, 2 saves as well for Leominster on the year.
Apparently
Too fancy there.
Max didn't get the memo.
Tried to push that bunt up the first baseline. Did Person, who walked and is the lone run scorer to the ball game.
Get the bunt down.
Those of you joining us for the first time, Kate, the mean bunt lady, the nickname she's been given by the baseball guys. The bunt down for Person. Baez off the mound, fields his position, gets the throw over to first to Richard to retire Person. 1-3 the putout.
Nice job right there to advance the runner. Get Jacobson in scoring position.
Hey, how about this, Kate? 2 sacrifice bunts successfully completed in this ball game.
That's what I like to see. I like it when teams understand that, especially in the early going, if you think it might be a tight game, to work toward manufacturing runs. And I like that. I like lineups that are conducive to that. I like student athletes that are willing to make that sacrifice for their teammates and that they're willing to play team ball. I'm a big fan.
And how important is that when you get into the playoffs, you start seeing tougher pitching, much closer ball games. Those manufactured runs come in very important.
They're key.
Baez 0-1 to Stewart. Breaking ball comes out of his baffles and across the plate for strike 2. Count goes to 0-2. Stewart was caught looking one of Godin's 3 strikeouts back in the second. 0-2 pitch, hard fastball, and slapped out of play by Stewart. We'll try another 0-2 pitch. Completing the substitution here to bring Baez into the ball game. Godin does remain in the game. He goes out to his familiar right field. Baez subs for Reese Lara, who was in right field. He's in that 10th non-batting position, and so Baez will not bat, and he exists in the 10th position in the order. 0-2 pitch with 1 out.
Nice eye.
Umpire says it missed. Count goes to 1-2.
They are colorful
Couple
crew
of
over
Indeed
there.
they
I was
are.
going to say some vocal fans. We love it.
Oh, those are the
I
players.
was going to say, that's the dugout.
That's the
Bill
dugout.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Love the creativity. Little throwback. 1-2 pitch. Stewart sends it up and out of play. We'll try another 1-2 pitch. And about the 5th or 6th pitch of the at-bat, Stewart has allowed to happen. 1-0 Hudson's lead here on home diamond. Great to have you with us as we are on the road with a little RFM baseball here on a Thursday night, and you're joining it in delay, either on demand on YouTube or 24-hour delay on Facebook Live. Line shot on the ground. Hutton back up into shallow center. Around third and on his way to score is Jacobson, scoring from second base on the RBI single for Brady Stewart, who worked his way into a positive count, got the pitch he wanted from Baez, and sent it into the outfield.
Bill Thomas, couple of things there. Number one, Stewart helping his own cause with that base hit. But did you see as soon as that ball hit the fringe in the outfield, it was as if it had been shot by a bullet and stopped right where it was. Not very often that when a center fielder charges the ball, it's no longer moving by the time it hits the outfield grass. That's what allows the base runner to score from second easily. You don't see that a lot.
No, and I thought we were going to see problems with that on the infield. On infielders not getting the balls, but that was like Velcro out there.
It
That
just
ball
stopped.
about 2 feet into that real thick outfield grass, and the outfielder had to come all the way in to make that play. shortstop was shaded over towards the hole a little bit.
I've not seen anything
And
like it.
allowed the runner to score. Jacobson scored easily.
Baez struggling now to Jack Packard. Count is 2-0.
But I mean, also kudos to Hudson for knowing.
Well, they know
and
their
having,
field.
Having the coach. This is what you talk about with home field advantage. The coach had no hesitation over in that third base coaching box. He was sending that runner from second the moment that ball was on the ground, and he knew it was going to skirt out into the outfield.
Yeah, especially when he saw where the shortstop was. He was not going to get to it. The outfield had to come all the way in. Long run.
Baez sends Stewart back to first. 2-1 the count to Packard at the plate. Packard singled and was stranded back in the second. 2-0 Hudson's lead. Double clutch on the lead. Casey sends the throw down after the swinging strike. And diving back in is Stewart at first base, but the count is level on Packard. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Good job. Keep the base runners honest. But I like Hudson. They're getting good solid leads and ready to break on every pitch here. Very aggressive here in the 4th inning.
Baez sneaks a peek at Stewart. Ready now. 2-2 pitch to Packard. Fastball way high. Count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And this is probably the first time in our covering of Baez that he looks a little unsettled, a little rattled.
Struggling a little bit here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hudson start the base runner here.
Baez threw a scoreless 2/3 of an inning last night.
They
Now the
had him,
pickoff
too.
over at first. The ball through the grass stayed just in play at the dead
going to
ball
third.
line. On his horse is Stewart around second, and he will advance to third easily.
That's your starting pitcher.
Never broke stride either.
Nope.
Nice job right there. Heads up. Picked up the coach as he got around second. Had him coming all the way.
And that
That
ball
dead ball,
just stays
yeah.
in
You know,
along the dead ball
and-
line.
and
Again,
it does.
thank that second cut of rough down there. This is U.S. Open quality rough, like you'll see at the Country
And
Club
if
in a
that
few
ball
weeks at
goes out of
Brookline.
play, it's only one base
Correct.
because it's from the mound.
Now it stays
But,
in.
and I think he had him too. Unfortunately, it was right into the runner's feet, and Richie couldn't make a play on it. But I think he might have had him if he could have
3-2
made a
breaking
play.
ball called strike 3, and not a moment too soon for Baez, who picks up out number 2 with a runner standing at third base in Stewart.
Big out right there. Packard unable to pick him up with less than 2 outs.
And I know Packard a little, he looks pretty dejected relative to the outcome of that at bat. But think about what just happened. You have yet again another runner all the way into scoring position, even though you struck out.
Well, he had that RBI single too in the second inning, so I think he felt like he was in a little bit of a groove and wanted to come up with RBI number 2 today.
One of a limited number of left-handers in the lineup for either squad tonight. Dan Demirjian comes to the plate, flew out to the shortstop back in the second. Stewart stands 90 feet away. Demirjian waves at that Baez pitch on the outside, and Baez up in the count 0-2.
Demirjian needing to kind of get his composure after that swing.
Yeah, didn't feel very comfortable there. Just kind of almost threw the bat at it, Kate.
Yep. When the rear end goes one way and the back goes the other, that's not good.
0-2, slap the chop. Massa has to charge off the grass, come
Beautiful
across
play.
the diamond, and Richard makes the catch at first to complete the out and end the threat. It got a little ugly for Leominster in that inning, threw the ball around a little bit, but you know what? It can look ugly and still be functional. Through 4 complete here at his historic Riverside Diamond. It's Hudson 2 and Leominster nothing. To the top of the 5th we go. 8-9 top for Leominster, Gosson, Casey, and Arsenault due up in the inning for the blue and white. So much more to come and a little rain to come as well. Stay with us. This is RFM. To the top of the fifth we go, and Leominster sorely needing to create some offensive production here. Futility continues on the offensive side of things here on the road. Godin, Casey, and Top back to Arsenault. And Stewart continues to cruise, and Godin waves and misses at strike number 1. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat, back in the second.
Brady Stewart's confidence now, back-to-back strikes right now. His confidence must be soaring. He's helped himself out on offense. He's been incredibly efficient on defense after getting settled in the first inning. Right
0-2 pitch, check swing went too far, the tag, and he is retired. 3-pitch strikeout for Stewart to start the fifth.
Pretty efficient way to handle leadoff batter the fifth. You know, I got Stewart up over 65, close to 70 pitches. Not sure what kind of count he's on, but he might have been told in the dugout, you know, the pitch count's getting up there. Let's get a little more efficient. He came right at him to start this fifth inning.
And Coach Rich Barnaby says we got to try to change something up here. So we'll start with a pinch hitter, he says. Dominic Montoya will be the pinch hitter for the catcher, Zach Casey.
Umpire wasn't even down in his stance, and the ball was already being delivered.
and nobody stopped it from happening.
It's already, yep.
Count goes to 1-0, and Montoya fouls that one off. 1-1 goes the count.
He realized mid-windup the ball was going to be coming, and he better get his rear end down. He was ready for it when it got there.
1-1 pitch, fastball, and he's in the hole. Montoya barely has had the opportunity to take the bat off his shoulder. You are under duress when you get in the batter's box against Stewart. The 1-2 pitch, and he pops one up out of play, and that'll give him a moment to think about what's going on. He's in the hole, is Montoya. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the fifth inning, and Leominster chasing 2. Here comes that 1-2 pitch again. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. It's in the dirt. Up with it and on to first. The retirement by DeCarlo to Person to complete the swinging strikeout.
Stewart is on cruise control.
Not wasting any time here in the top of the fifth inning, coming right after these Leominster batters. Bottom of the order and being very efficient about it.
Montoya is strikeout victim number 9 at this point in the ball game for Brady Stewart. To the top of the order we go, and it's Brandon Arsenault.
That's almost 2 strikeouts an inning.
Just about, Kate. Arsenault lets the first pitch go by for a ball. He struck out swinging to open the ball game, first of the 9 thus far, then flew out to right field in his last at-bat. He's ahead 1-0 here. 1-0 pitch goes with it down the first base line, and the sliding catch is made in foul territory by O'Brien. Another great play in foul territory and ends the threats.
Second time he's ventured over there. Good job. Eyes on the ball. Slide and catch that time. Ends the inning.
No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. 2 more strikeouts in the inning by way of the swing for Brady Stewart, who continues to mow down Blue Devils through 5 innings of work. Through 4.5 here at Riverside Diamond. Hudson 2 and Leominster nothing, and more to come. This is RFM. To the bottom of the fifth we go here on RFM. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here.
It's getting a little chilly.
On a Thursday night where there's a little mister drizzle in the air. 8-9 top due up in the fifth for Hudson.
Then we got a pinch hitter here, Todd.
You are
Number 2?
No,
happened?
there is some disagreement about numbers. If you look at the lineup card
had
that
Nick as
Hudson
1.
gave us, Tingaloff is listed as 1, but he's been wearing jersey number 2 all night.
It only took me 5 minutes to notice that.
Tingaloff pops this one up toward right field on the second pitch he sees, and it is a fly out to the right fielder, Godin, who makes the catch out there for out number 1.
We'll go with that.
Now batting number 8, right fielder.
Well, good, Billy. You should.
I heard it in the introductions, Bill Thomas. I wrote down what was on the lineup card, but there was definitely a little disagreement in some of the paperwork. I'm sure the officials did their due diligence before the game to make sure they got everything corrected. As the first pitch to O'Brien is a ball outside, count goes to 1-0. O'Brien flew out to first base in his last at-bat. Baez, fastball down, and it skids across the plate for ball 2. Count goes to 2-0. Bench says they don't like that. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball backhanded, but called the strike on the inner half.
Was that your translation of the Spanish?
Indeed.
Coming from the first.
Yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it?
Well done. I'm proud of you. Hey, I don't want to jinx anything. It's 8:17, and we're already in the 5th inning.
Ball outside. Count goes to 3-1. I'll tell you, on a Brady Stewart ball game, you can bill some of these in an hour.
I know.
I mean, he's
got somewhere to
efficient,
go.
he works quick, and he pitches like he's got a place to be. 3 balls and a strike.
He'll be at
dinner-
Endicott next
got a
year.
dinner
That's where
date.
he'll be.
Ball up and away, and that is a walk. And back to the top of the order we go. Mikey DiCarlo comes to the plate. DiCarlo caught looking in his first at-bat, then walked and got cut down to end the 3rd, trying to steal. It's that great play by Garcia down at third base. O'Brien leads away from first. First look at Baez for DiCarlo. Sees a fastball on the outer half for strike 1.
Base on ball's been a problem tonight for Leominster. Both walks, the one in the 2nd inning and one in the 4th inning, lead-off walks, both scored, led the Hawks 2 runs.
Baez not paying attention to the dancing
Dancing.
O'Brien. He just comes with another fastball for strike 2.
Dancing O'Brien. I like that.
And this is much more of the Angel Baez pace-wise and focus-wise that we've seen in previous appearances. Just keeps bringing it, bringing it, bringing it. Unflappable. He's ready on 0-2. Waste that one high. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. First time he's seeing the batter DiCarlo as well. Was batting .333 coming into the night, so certainly you're not going to fool around here, but at the same time, can't just keep bearing fastballs down at an efficient hitter. Snap throw over to first. Richard confidently tries to snap that tag down and steal a call. Not going to get O'Brien, diving back in.
O'Brien dancing around back there, hopping back and forth, and Baez trying to time it just off a little bit, but keeping an eye on him.
Baez says, hey, let's try it again. This time, O'Brien was just about a half a step off of first. A 1-2 count on the batter at the plate, DiCarlo.
I think that's Baez's way of saying get your rear end back over by that.
I'd
Stop
like you
you
over
dancing.
here,
And
please.
O'Brien's hopping back and forth. I think Baez is trying to
Quit
time
your
it.
dancing.
There he goes.
And he does go with the pitch. The 1-2, it was a hit and run. Fouled to the backstop. Count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes, and we'll try it all over again.
And if you notice, he had himself a very nice walking lead right there. Baez kind of checked out on him and had a nice head start on his way to second base.
So a 1-2 count.
Second 1-2 offering coming here. O'Brien
A lot of do-si-do for a 1-2 count.
stands his ground, about 2 steps off, and DiCarlo asks for time, and he will back on out of the batter's box.
Back and forth going on here, a little gamesmanship.
And the timing has been right.
We've got to keep an eye on O'Brien over there. I don't think he's sticking around on first base long.
He will now step into his lead. 1-2 missed, and the count levels to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to DiCarlo with the runner O'Brien at first. O'Brien playing a little hot foot with
Yeah, he's
Baez.
jumping around there. You know, Baez wants to time that.
Oh,
Get him in
so
mid-lead.
Could be here a while with O'Brien dancing.
I was going to say, and so O'Brien confidently walks off of first once again.
Doing his job, though, drawing the attention, distraction.
Couple of toe taps, and Baez says, let's try it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the batter, DiCarlo at the plate, who's seen less pitches than throws over to first base in this sequence.
Settle in,
I was going
everybody.
to say, I got 5 pitches to home plate and 6 tosses to first.
And Baez says, hey, I'm going to take time. He steps off the back.
I love it.
2-0 Hudson's lead here on home field on the campus of Hudson High School tonight. And great to have you with us here on RFM. 2-2 pitch to DiCarlo is a breaking ball called strike 3.
Nice pitch. I tell you, Baez real patient right there. Got the situation he wanted. Sets him down.
That sequence ends with Angel Baez called K. Second caught looking of the night against DiCarlo.
That sequence took 6 minutes.
It was only a 6-pitch sequence, but
Only.
it was eight
Pitch
throws
per
to
minute,
first.
give or take. Jackson Sequenzia comes to the plate. 2 flyouts on the night. 1 to right, 1 to second base. And this one, he sends a bleeder on the ground that is through first base, which means around third, and sliding in is O'Brien, who pops up with authority. Advancing down on the throw is Sequenzia, who's got himself an infield single and then a mess after that.
Ball being thrown around a little bit right there, and leads to another run for the Hawks.
Hudson's got a 3-0 lead is the top of the line headline.
15, shortstop Jason Jacobson.
And all that with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Infield single, throwing error on the third baseman. Allows a run to score.
And so Sequenzia stands down at second base, and that brings Jacobson to the plate. Grounded out to third, walked in a run scored. He was the first of the ball game in the 4th. Excuse me, second of the ball game in the 4th. And he sees his first pitch from Baez wide, and the count goes to 1-0. Baez snaps a look back. And he'll step off the back. And Baez is going to go for a walk out on the mound right now and try to get his faculties about him.
Speaking of walks, Todd, 3rd walk of the game that's turned into a run for Hudson tonight.
It's a great point, Bill Thomas. So all 3 of their runs have come on walks prior. Baez sends a 1-0 to the plate. And that misses. Count to 2-0.
Hudson doing a good job getting those leadoff runners around. The first 2 leadoff walks. Last one here, walk with 1 out. All 3 of them produced a run.
Casually waiting in the batter's box is Jacobson. Sequenzia draws the attention and a throw, and Savatelli gets tripped up heading out there and does a little barrel roll with a smile.
Saved it, though. Well
Indeed.
done.
Hey,
It was
got the ball.
The throw
And
was
you know-
on the opposite side of the bag,
And if
so
that
he
ball
needed to lean. And if that had
Goes to
trickled,
center field, it's probably only going about 5 feet in the grass.
Correct
and it's in
him,
no
Mundo.
man's land.
I tried to keep it dry. Oh, you're getting a jacket. Never mind. I'll be quiet.
Call breaking the 4th wall there.
It's fine. I feel miserable.
Counts 2-0. Fastball. Excuse me. Check swing. Baez stabs it and then will flip it on to first.
Willie Mays Hayes style right there.
Indeed it was. Tell a lot about his season from the first batter of the year. That's a 1-3 putout to end the 5th, but nonetheless, it is a 3-0 Hudson lead through 5. More to come. This is RFM. To the top of the 6th we go, and the night's getting a little long for Leominster. As Stewart starts his first pitch of his 6th inning of work, catching the front of home plate and sending a high hopper to the top of the backstop. Count is 1-0 to the batter Richard. Leominster 2-3-4 in the order, due up in the 6th. That's Richard, Garcia, and Massa, and Richard is up 2-0, which is a rarity tonight for the blue and whites. 2-0, called strike one, 2 balls and a strike. And Bill Thomas, we were talking off air about a bit of a storyline you're seeing develop here on the offensive side of things. Breaking ball for strike 2, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Richard.
You know, we talk about base on balls being the, killers, and all 3 runs, base on ball followed by a hit, leads to a run in the 2nd inning, base on ball.
Richard
followed by a
waves
hit,
at
4th
strike
inning,
3.
And it's same thing in the 5th inning.
Number 8.
Becomes the first strikeout victim of the inning, and the 10th of the ball game, his 2nd strikeout of the night, paired with a ground out to second base. And so we go to Nick Garcia, the 3rd baseman, walking stranded in the 1st, grounded out to 3rd base in the 3rd. Stewart, fastball, misses up and away, and the count is quickly 2-0. If you look down long enough to sum up where we are in the Stewart pitching situation, you are behind multiple pitches. Here's the 2-0 fastball, and DiCarlo not able to pick it. Count runs to 3-0.
If you're not looking up, he's going to sneak a couple by you.
Indeed he is. My.
Definitely in a hurry.
He has been fun to watch work, though. Here's the 3-0. Fastball missed well in, and Garcia draws a 4-pitch walk.
Exactly what the Blue Devils need. Base runners right here.
With only 1 out.
Correct. 1 out walk for Garcia. Now Nick Massa comes to the plate. Flew out to center field, struck out swinging in the 4th.
Find a way to keep the line moving here without giving up outs.
Stewart now from the stretch sends this one off the plate and knocked down by DiCarlo. Count 1-0.
See if we can't get Stewart out of his comfort zone here. His pitch count is climbing. I got him well into the 80s now, approaching 90 pitches.
1-0 pitch, check swing, called strike at the plate.
Had that a little high.
Count is 1-1.
But again, baseball strike zone eludes me.
Garcia leads away. He breaks. The 1-1 is in the dirt, and it's another stolen base for Garcia.
Well, he left early, and if Stewart had just looked over there, I think he could have threw behind him and could have had a little action on the base pass, but totally ignored him, came home with the pitch.
Garcia's 2nd stolen base of the night, 6th of the season.
Is that a ball on the pitch?
It was. Count is 2 balls and a strike. And DiCarlo will pop out to talk to Stewart. Leominster has got a runner in scoring position. Garcia has been one of the lone runners for Leominster in scoring position tonight. Savatelli was there, Bolak there as well, and 2-1 rung up as strike 2, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nick's got to find a way to get this ball in play. Strikeout victim last time.
There
in
is
the
a
4th.
huge hole at second base as the second baseman, Sequenzia, tries to hold the runner Garcia. The ball misses, and the count runs to 3-2, and this is a question of, can you get a pitch to maybe go with into that gap?
Yeah, and I wonder if Sequenzia shouldn't just play his position. Oh, they're up 3 runs. You hate to see something in the hole here where he's jumping around.
Payoff pitch, ball 4.
Good job there by Nick. Battle back.
Back-to-back walks worked for Leominster, and now they've got runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Chasing 3, it's 3-0 Hawks.
Trying to see over in the Hawks bullpen, a couple of fences through here. I think they got some action over there. I can't really see a number. I do see some movement back there.
It's dark back there.
Yeah.
Indeed it is. Tony Savatelli comes to the plate. Ball drifted high. It was a breaking ball, and the count is 1-0. Savatelli doubled and then took 3rd, stranded there in the 2nd, and then a walk and stranded at 3rd base again. He's been 90 feet from scoring twice tonight. Ball misses down. 2-0 goes the count to Savatelli.
Just as we speak, I see the
More
bullpen
people.
catcher heading out towards the Hudson bullpen, and it looks like there is some action stirring there. Stewart starts struggling here.
2-0.
Pitch count's creeping high.
Indeed
Yeah,
it is.
I got him close to 100 now, especially with these back-to-back walks.
Swing and a miss for Savatelli. 2-1 goes the count. Pitching caps here in Massachusetts, 115 pitches is the cap. And I know there was some discussion this week on the MIAA baseball conference call about these pitch tracking and reporting and whether the information is accurate. Well, swing and a miss from Savatelli. The count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some discussions about who's keeping track of it, where is that information being scored, is it being relayed appropriately. A lot of honor system in the MIAA system for this pitch tracking.
Oh, good.
Until you get to the playoff.
2-2 pitch. Savatelli pops it up. It's a high fly ball in the infield. Stewart is off the mound, takes charge, and makes the catch.
I think we had the infield fly rule, too, there.
Indeed.
Now batting,
But good job anyways by
designated
Stewart.
hitter Connor Bolak.
And that is out number 2, no matter how you score it. Bolak, the designated hitter, comes to the plate, walking stranded at second, struck out swinging in the 4th in his most recent at-bat. Leominster making some noise once again with 2 more runners on base, looking for the hit they need to bring someone home. They have stranded 4 runners in the inning thus far. In the game thus far.
Feels like they stranded 4
In this inning, I was going to say,
That would be impressive.
just one hit away. Swing and a miss from Bolak. Count goes to 0-1. Runners take their leads. Stewart steals a look. 0-1 pitch. Pop to the backstop. Count goes to 0-2. Stewart will be on mandatory rest here as he has crossed into that last sequence
Is it a
of the
5
pitch tracking.
5-day rest?
I believe that is correct, Kate. So he would be looking toward the Samata tournament for his next 4 days rest if you hit the max.
Oh,
And that
Caught the
was
catcher.
caught the catcher. It's a pop foul.
Ball
Need
caught
a
the catch
second.
right on the mask. Shakes it off. Tough kid.
Indeed. As Bolak
Foul.
had to come reach for that one.
nice
and
job of the official giving him a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other-
Brush off the plate. He hasn't brushed the plate off all night. I love it.
Coach Barnaby comes
has.
down, gives a little fist bump to Bolak. I actually thought it caught the catcher, the bat caught the
No.
catcher first from the angle that I had and the sound that I
this-
heard, but you guys had it right as the foul ball bat to the catcher's face
I had
mask.
bat to catcher's mask. Something sounded a little leathery. I'm not going to lie.
Indeed. 0-2, he thought about it, and they're going to ring him up for it. And the wild kind of ensuing play is a tag out by DiCarlo to complete the strikeout. It's strikeout number 11 for Stewart, and it ends Leominster's 6th inning. Yikes, a tough stretch there for the blue and white. They strand 2 more. 6 stranded in the ball game through 6 innings. It's no runs on no hits, no errors, strand 2. 5.5 complete here at Riverside Diamond. It's Hudson 3 and Leominster nothing. More to come. To the bottom of the 6th we go. 4, 5, 6 due up in the order for the Hawks. Stay with us. This is RFM. To the bottom of the 6th we go. 4, 5, 6 due up in the order for the Hawks. That's Person, Stewart, and Packard. And the first pitch from Baez is a called strike.
Billy Todd might be single by the end of this game.
No. Now be nice.
Single or in the hospital?
I've been very nice. 0-1 breaking ball for a strike 2.
Marlboro Hospital's just down the street.
I am not delivering this baby.
5 minutes away, Kate.
No, I'm not doing this tonight.
And the count goes to 0-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed for a strikeout.
That's the Baez we know.
Right at him. Very efficient.
Be it that Kate has now announced through her sarcasm, I suppose it's time to acknowledge something we haven't said on a broadcast, Bill Thomas?
Might as well.
Kate,
Congratulations,
thank you.
kids.
Kate and I are expecting our first, a little boy, due August 1st. You can't look at me. I didn't unearth this one. You just said it. Ball missed high for Stewart. Count goes to 1-0. Stewart.
Well, maybe you were going to have the baby.
Considering
Hey,
I look
somebody
like
testified in Congress the other day that men can get pregnant. So.
1-0 breaking
curious.
ball. Hit on the ground, charging. It's Garcia, snaps a throw across into the runner. This is heading to dead ball territory, and it is got to be out of play. I was going to say, all of a sudden, it's fielded, it's played. Now Casey throws his hands up. That ball had to have gone out of play. Either way, the runner stops at second base, but neither umpire is looking, and Casey's over getting popcorn from a fan on the first base
And I wonder
line.
if there's a line over there. I think those fans are right on the out-of-bounds line, and it stopped about 2 feet from. I'm going to say that ball's still in play. I'm not going to use the dugout line. I'm going to try to use that pole-to-pole.
You're thinking the back pole instead
where
of
the
the front
end of the
pole
fence
from the
is kind
dugout.
of
You're thinking
imaginary.
end of the fence
I
all the
think
way
that
back.
there's a lot of in-play territory over there.
There may be, Bill Thomas, but
And
nonetheless.
I'm guessing if I'm a fan, I'm right on that out-of-bounds line.
Zach Casey could have signed autographs over there. I mean, good grief. Forming a line.
Whatever it is, Hudson has a runner on second.
Indeed he does, and Stewart ends up down there, which brings Packard to the plate. Packard singled and then caught looking in his last at-bat in the 4th.
Got an RBI is in the second inning. One of 3 hits Hudson has.
Baez fastball for a called strike.
All 3 of their hits have plated their walks prior to the hit in each inning.
1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Packard. Baez steals a look at Stewart. And now the 1-1 he sends to the plate. Breaking ball for strike 2. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Baez staring down at Casey, looking at Packard, who asks for time, and that stops everything. We'll have a 1-2 offering.
Savatelli trying to keep
Is that Stewart at second?
Stewart
Indeed it
close.
is, and ball put back into play, and Baez slings one 3-quarter style to Savatelli, who is standing almost at the point of second base, trying to keep Stewart close. 1-2 the count on the batter, Packard. And the 1-2 pitch missed. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bill Thomas, I did everything I could in arranging all of this, pregnancy, delivery, all that stuff. Put it right in between seasons. We're on hiatus in the summer. It's before football begins. We do what we try to do as long as the calendar holds.
Timing was impeccable, Todd.
Also means Kate will be taking some time off at the beginning of the football season. 2-2 pitch sent to the backstop foul, and it'll be another 2-2 offering coming up, which means you and I are going to be left to our own devices for the first month of the season.
You're going to have to be into pre-broadcast training, Todd. We'll have to work on that. But,
we'll do everything we can.
Football tends to be our easiest season when it comes to setup, especially we're at historic Doyle Field. We love our facilities there.
As Baez sends another one with Stewart diving back into second.
Yourself that, Bill Thomas.
As Stewart just lays out at that second, saying, okay, fine, wait, it's the ball back. All right, I'll stand up now. Packard's got a 2-2 count at the plate, and a 3-0 Hudson lead now becomes a 3-2 count at the plate as the 2-2 missed. 3 balls and 2 strikes goes the count.
Packard doing a good job. He worked the count full, even though he struck out in the 4th inning, seeing a lot of pitches.
Baez steals a look at Stewart, sends the 3-2 to the plate, and popped up out of play. We'll try another 3-2 pitch. Packard was the second out recorded by Baez on the caught looking back in the fourth. And now Packard stares out at Baez. Locked in a 3-2 count. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Packard frustrated with the futility as he becomes the second out in the sixth. Swinging this time. And for Baez, since coming in the ball game, he's got himself 4 strikeouts.
We got a courtesy runner going to second base
Indeed
for
we do.
Stewart.
And Eddie Rodriguez is that courtesy runner for the pitcher. And Dan Demirjian comes to the plate. Flew out to short, grounded out to third base in his last at-bat in the fourth. So Rodriguez stands down at second. Demirjian at the plate, looks out at Baez. First pitch to the lefty, popped up over our head and over everything out of play. Count goes to 0-1 to Demirjian. Demirjian, the lefty, he's dug himself a hole right along that back line of the batter's box. He's going to maximize the amount of time he can see a Baez pitch. 0-1, took a little off of that, did Baez, and Demirjian waves over top. Count goes to 0-2.
Nice shot breaking ball right there. Right at the knees.
Sabatelli playing a little cat and mouse out at second base. Baez sends it to the plate on the 0-2. Hit on the ground. Sabatelli has to change fields, charge, make the play. 4-3 the putout and ends the threat. Richard wasn't sure he was on the bag, and so he starts toe tapping it to make sure that he's got the outs.
Good job.
Leominster comes back to bat in the top of the 7th inning, needing 3 runs to continue the ball game, 4 runs to go ahead. Through 6 here at Riverside Diamond. It's Hudson 3 and Leominster nothing to the top of the 7th, where Leominster has 7-8-9 due up. It all happens right here on RFM when we continue. Stay with us. To the 7th we go. Indeed, Stewart continues here.
Surprisingly, but he's got a 115 count, and I got him at a little over 100, so he's got another inning in him.
Yeah, ball down. And
You know, what is the rule? Is it exactly 115 and you come out?
I believe he can finish the at-bat, and that is it.
We'll see what happens.
Godin missed down, and now Stewart comes back for a strike. Count
2-1.
2 balls and a strike.
Todd looked down again, Billy.
I tell you, you blink and you miss 2 pitches.
Just missed another
You
one.
miss another one. Count to 3-1.
It's hard enough to keep track.
Stewart has had me off balance all night,
All
so
night.
I can't
Todd's
imagine.
been uncomfortable
all
all
night.
night.
I can't imagine what the
I know what it
batters feel
feels
like.
like to be up there, 3-1, and this one comes all the way to the backstop. And so Godin's going to hustle on down to first with a 5-pitch walk.
I got to believe Stewart's on a short leash right here in the 7th inning.
Coach Tim Reinhardt.
Coach is on the top of the dugout steps here.
No rush to move anywhere. And so Stewart's going to continue. Godin's down at first. Leominster is chasing 3 here with their last 3 outs.
Where are we in the order?
This is spot 8, Tom Godin at the plate.
I think he gets probably 2 or 3 more batters, depending on his pitch count.
And he starts Godin off in the right direction. It's a called strike for Hudson. Count is 0-1.
And Leominster's been held to 1 hit on the evening, so.
1 ball down count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I wasn't going to bring that up, Kate.
If Stewart is able to minimize the walks here, he's already given up 1.
1-1 pitch, fastball high, goes with it foul and out of play. I think there's some sneaky speed here, too. When Leominster's put the bat on the ball, been a lot of hits to the right side, which means they are coming behind this pitch.
Some foul fly outs to right field and a lot of foul balls in
territory.
the lights. Yeah.
1-2, down. I got the count level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's not what the scoreboard has out there, but I'm pretty sure I'm on this one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch to Godin. They say it missed the kneecap. Count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I gotta guess if he loses this guy, he's probably
I would agree, Billy.
probably done for the night. Had a great performance.
Indeed, he has.
Coaching staff on Hudson's bench looking a little itchy now.
Payoff pitch, fastball missed.
And I gotta guess they'd love to see him get a complete game out of this, but I think we've seen about all. We're gonna have Stewart tonight. He's had a great outing.
Coach Reinhardt is on his way to the mound.
Back-to-back walks, I think, is gonna spell the end for him tonight.
But what has been a great pitching performance for Brady Stewart. Pitching change here at Riverside Diamond. Stewart is done. They will bring in a reliever to see if they can close it out. We'll introduce you to the relief and put the book closed on Stewart when we continue. Stay with us. Pitching change here in the 7th. Leominster trailing Hudson. 3-0 Hawks in the 7th. More to come. This is RFM. Here we go to the continuation of the top of the 7th inning. Leominster with back-to-back walks to send Stewart to the showers. Runners on first and second. Connor Madden is the reliever, and the first pitch to Zach Casey, who re-entered the game for Dominic Montoya, pinch hitter in the last inning. Now bring Casey back to the plate, and he sees ball 1 on the first offering from Connor Madden.
He asks for time.
And he will talk things over. Madden has come and pitched 13 1/3 innings pitched. He has not allowed a run. His ERA is 0.00 at this point. He's got 15 strikeouts against 2 walks. And it's a strike on the 1-0. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. And mercifully for all involved, the pace has slowed a little bit here. Madden ready on the rubber. Runners on first and second. The 1-1. Casey hit on the ground. Madden fields it, sends it to second for 1. On to first. Double play. Game over.
No.
It's only 2 outs.
Just kidding.
It's only 2 outs, Todd.
Got a little excited there. It was just a great play. It was a tailor-made double play.
2 outs. But, yeah, nice job right there by
I'm not the first
Madden.
announcer to ever do it. Don't look at me like that.
Madden. Nice solid lead, leading the shortstop over the bag.
So we'll advance Godin to third.
It's a Sterling call if I've ever. John Sterling.
And
would
it
do
might be
that.
a little bit, might be a little
A
Sterling-esque.
little Sterling-esque there, buddy. But the fact that you can laugh it off is a good thing.
Absolutely. Ball missed to the outside as we're back to the top of the order for Brandon Arsenal. I've already booked it, but Brandon Arsenal comes to the plate.
You okay?
You know.
You're not going to be happy with that.
Everybody has it. We'll put the blooper package together someday.
These things happen.
I mean, it was well done.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Brandon, last chance here for
Down to Leominster's final out.
down to the final out. Exactly right.
A strikeout, 2 flyouts to right field. That's been Arsenal today thus far.
Got to put the ball in play here, Brandon.
Ball down. 2-1 goes the count. Madden ready on the mound. 2-1 pitch. Down, and no idea where the ball was for DiCarlo. He had done a great job blocking it, and he kept it right in front of home plate. No chance for Godin to advance. 3-1 goes the count. Madden ready, looking right at Godin. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4.
Keeps the inning alive. Third walk of the inning.
Coaching staff coming out for Hudson.
14, first baseman Jake
Situation
Richard.
thing, I think Kate come out and talk
Runners
a
at the corners here.
little
Yeah,
strategy. They
Coach
wanna
Reinhardt
throw
wants
through.
to talk it over. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, do you let him go? I don't know here.
Avoid running into any problems out there. That would be crucial as well.
I mean, Leominster, the last thing you want to do is run into the third out of the game on the bases. And, when you got the time run at the plate after you had this game-long struggle for base runners.
And it's another place where Leominster gets a runner over to third base. They have stranded 3 runners at third base in this ball game. Savatelli was stranded there twice.
Jake Richard coming off an 0 for 3 night so far. A couple of strikeouts.
Ground out to second base in the, between those two. And Madden's first offering to Richard. Fastball for strike 1. 3-0 Hudson's lead. A double play brought Leominster down to their final strike. Madden's 0-1 offering with runners at the corners. Missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Coach Barnaby being very careful with those base runners because they're so precious. Leominster down to their final out here.
1-1 pitch from Madden. Fastball fouled outside the line in right field. Now we'll roll out of play.
Now Leominster's down to their last strike. Jake's got to do something here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Leominster down to their final strikes, needing 3. Runners at the corners. And DiCarlo is deciding to go out and talk to the reliever, Madden.
I thought it was going to be chilly tonight, but because there hasn't been wind, it's actually been fairly temperate.
Cool, yeah, I would say cool, a cool spring night.
Don't worry, 95 this
I was
weekend.
going to say, it's been a weird spring where you've got feelings of fall and then feelings of mid-July all rolled in to a matter of the month of April and into May. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners at the corners. Leominster down to 1 strike. Can Richard put the ball in play? Madden sends the 1-2 to the plate. Kept alive with another one, slashed foul down the right field line.
A lot of foul balls, a lot of late swings tonight by the Leominster batters. See if they can't
Some
straight and run out.
indecision on pitch selection, I believe, has been part of it as well. At least with that one.
We talked about it early in the ball game, and that has continued. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Game over.
For sure that time, though. Good job.
Couldn't let it alone, could you? Hudson's a winner tonight. Final score, 3-0 over Leominster here at Riverside Diamond. A beauty of a pitching performance for Brady Stewart is how this game will go. Top of the line headline. Stewart, 6 innings pitched, allowed just 1 hit, didn't allow a run, 7 walks, and 11 strikeouts. What a performance. Hudson improves to 13-4. Leominster falls to 11-5. We'll take a break, step aside, stay with us. We'll total it all up for you, recap it all, a little post-game extra coming your way next. Hudson, a 3-0 winner on senior night here at Riverside Diamond. A break and we're back with more. This is RFM. Post-game here on RFM. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Hudson a winner tonight, 3-0 on senior night here at Riverside Diamond, and a great night it was. Pitching performance du jour for Brady Stewart, who had a phenomenal 6 innings against Leominster in this one to close out the regular season for the Hawks. The 3-0 win improves Hudson to 13-4. Leominster falls to 11-5 with the loss. Final stats look like this as you look back across the game. Winning pitcher is Stewart, goes 6 innings pitched, just the 1 hit. No runs, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. Loss goes to Godin in the effort. 3 innings pitched, a hit, a run. It was earned. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. In relief, Angel Baez comes in for Leominster. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Connor Madden's 1 inning of work. No hits, no runs, a walk and a strikeout to close out the ball game in the 7th. A strong performance for the Hawks in a tidy 1 hour, 58 minutes of action. What a game we were treated to here tonight, Bill Thomas. And for Leominster, I think the thing that will continue to stick out in this one, it's the final lines here. For Leominster, didn't score a run on 1 hit, 4 errors, left 8 on base. Hudson scores 3 runs to win, 4 hits, no errors, and 4 left on. Bill Thomas, you said it earlier on, a walk and a hit scores a run, a walk and a hit scores a run, a walk and a hit scores a run. That pretty much sums up how this ball game went.
Yeah, and on the other side, as good a game as Brady Stewart pitched, 11 strikeouts, only giving up 1 hit. The only blemish in his line is 7 base on balls, but unfortunately for the Blue Devils, they weren't able to come up with that timely hit. A couple of double plays in the field by Hudson took base runners off the base paths, and it just came down to only producing 1 hit and not putting the ball in play when they had runners in scoring position. Give Stewart all the credit in the world, but Blue Devils had their chances. 7 base on balls. You got base runners. You had them in scoring position. That timely hit eluded the Blue Devils once again tonight.
And 8 left on base, and 3 of those 8 finished the inning standing on third base.
Exactly
that is
right.
A tough line when you look at those statistics.
And that's when Stewart really bore down. No pass balls at that point. No free passes, and like I say, other than the 7 walks, the only blemish in his stat line, and he was able to minimize the damage. Even though you would think 7 walks, that many free base runners, it's going to lead to trouble. It's going to lead to some runs, but it didn't on the Blue Devil side.
Indeed, it did not. So where do these 2 teams go next? That's the question. And, of course, it's into the Samada tournament. That is the question. Leominster was expecting a 2nd seed. They would play a game early next week. Some are expecting Monday to be part of that process. And then they would move on from there, with Shrewsbury expected as the top seed in the large division for the Samada tournament. Hudson, by the way, with their 13-4 record, they're looking at a 1 seed in the tournament in one of the smaller 2nd or 3rd division, depending on how they rank it by size. When you get the Samada tournament together, take the Northern Worcester County Mid-Wach League and the Southern Worcester County League, put them all together, then they realign by size. I believe Hudson is in the 2nd division out of that group by size. They should expect a 1 seed there as well. And Bill Thomas, as you look at the state standings,
they're 5th coming into tonight. The most recent updated standings, MIA. Let's see when the power rankings from the 19th. So these are pretty up to date, and this is only going to improve their standings. So come statewide playoffs, they're in position to have 1 or more home playoff games if they work their way through the tournament. Hudson's having a great season. It's paying off for them right now. They're well positioned for the playoffs, Samada, and statewide tournament.
Indeed, they will. And for Leominster, although, again, it's another tough loss on their schedule, another time where they were shut out, another time where they were just limited to 1 hit in the ball game, these losses aren't bad. They're one of those things, it's cliche. They're frustrating, they're character building, and they're going to just remind you this is not the feeling you want to have going into the postseason.
Right, and as dominant as Stewart was, you got to go back to 7 base on balls. Blue Devils had their opportunities. It's just that timely hit eluded them tonight.
And the timely hit is what they are in search of in some crucial ball games throughout the year. We'll see where they fall in the Samada tournament. We'll have that action for you. Again, all that information available at Media Rivalry on Twitter for the latest ranking, schedule, and information. Hope you are enjoying this one either on YouTube, available on demand same day, or on the 24-hour delayed premiere on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Great to have you with us here on Senior Night night here at Hudson. Once again, they are a winner. Hudson 3 and Leominster nothing here at Riverside Diamond. The Hawks 13-4 at the conclusion of this one. Leominster 11-5 at the end of their regular season. We thank you so much for being a part of our family over the last couple of hours. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins saying thank you so very much. Join us in the weeks ahead. Next guaranteed regular season broadcast is next Wednesday. That is the 25th of May as Leominster plays host to Oakmont in boys lacrosse. We'll have that action for you on same-day delay here on RFM with some baseball smattered in as we move to the Samada tournament as well. For all of us here at RFM, once again, thank you so much for joining us here in Hudson tonight. And until next time, so long, everybody.